Through its commitment to artistic excellence and cultural heritage, AfroSolo fosters a space where individuals of all ethnicities can come together to explore and share the human spirit that unites us all. Here to share more about this year's AfroSolo Arts Festival is writer Augustine Phillips. Hi, Augustine.
Hello.
I'm so excited to have you today and to hear your story. Tell us about AfroSolo.
Well, AfroSolo was created by Thomas Robert Simpson, and he created it to promote and produce African-American art and culture. And he produced it for solo theater, for solo performances. And some of the talents is literary visual art, and storytelling, dance, theater, and poetry.
Okay, wonderful. And you will be doing one of these performances. Tell me about it.
I will be a storyteller.
Yes.
Well, about a year and a half ago, I started attending Thomas's class at the Dr. George Davis Senior Center, and we write short stories. Thomas gives us a prompt, and then we write. And then we continue to work on the story until we get it, you know, to our liking or whatever. And so about maybe 5 months ago, Thomas asked me if I'd like to read one of my stories at one of his performances, and I did. And so the rest is history, so here I am today.
Okay, wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about what your story will be about?
Okay, the day that we wrote the story about what I would be reading, he gave us a prompt, and he read Langston Hughes' poem, Let America Be America Again. So he asked the class to write a reflection of that story. And I wrote the reflection in my dad's voice. Wow. Because my dad was a sharecropper in Arkansas, and he had a very, you know, rough life and trying to make a living for the family and everything. And so I wrote it in his voice, and I'll be reading that story. And my story is titled, Please Don't Let That America Be America Again.
Okay, wonderful. This sounds so interesting. How are you feeling about doing the performance? How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm not as nervous this time coming up as I was the first time. So hopefully I'll do fine.
Yes, I'm sure you're going to do absolutely wonderful. Let's talk about some of the other artists, too. So you said there are also visual mediums, so like typical art that people would think of. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we have another storyteller.
Okay.
And then we have a singer, and he's to be accompanied by a pianist. And we also have a visual video that Thomas did. Thomas wrote a story, and he had it produced through AI, and this will be a first. And then we have another. I think we'll have. I'm not sure who the next performer will be, but it should be absolutely wonderful.
Yes, it sounds so great, and everyone is welcome. Is that correct?
Yes,
Tell us about that.
Everyone is welcome. The tickets are. Pay what you can, but we're asking for a donation from $10 to $35. Okay. And there will be live streaming available. And you can get the tickets at AfroSolo.org, as well as other information about this show. And there will be a bio for all the artists that are appearing on this show. Okay, wonderful. And why is it so important for you personally to be involved in this? Because I want my story to be heard. At first, I didn't think that I had a story to tell until I, you know, read it, you know, in front of a live artist, you know, a bigger audience than just the class. And it was just so well received, and that encouraged me to continue writing. So I came up with this story about my dad, and it's very dear to my heart, and I just want everybody to hear it. And I think I'm looking forward to it. Wonderful. How do you hope people feel after going to watch the performers and the artists at AfroSolo? Well, I hope that they'll feel that, you know, that we do have a culture, that we do have a story to tell, and it should be told, and people should listen to our story as well. So yes, it's very important to me, and it should be important to all of us because it's a part of a history. Yes, absolutely. Well, one last time, Augustine, how can people get tickets or come see this? Okay, you can come see this by getting tickets at AfroSolo.com, like I said. But the performance is this next weekend, this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday. It's at 7 p.m. And on Sunday it's at 3 p.m. And it's at Potrero Stage Theater, 1695 18th Street in San Francisco. Okay, wonderful. And there will be in-person and live streaming. Okay, fabulous. And Augustine, my last question for you today, any words of inspiration to people who maybe have never performed before and then, like you, discovered, wait, I do want to tell my story? Any words of advice? Well, you know, I think that you can do as much as you want to do because it's available. It's out there for you. And I'm like, I just would never have dreamed that I would have been doing this a year ago. You would have said, pinch me because, you know, I can't believe it's real. But yes, if I can do it, anybody can do it.